Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. We have a question today from our friend Totoro. Oh, hey, our neighbor Totoro wrote us a letter. Totoro says, "How do you become a martial arts teacher? Can you make a video about that? It is my dream to dedicate my life to martial arts, but everyone is telling me it's not a real job, and there is no proper way to become one. I want to do it as a job. I'm 18 years old, and all I want to do is train." Okay, Totoro. They're right about one thing. There is no proper way to become a martial arts teacher, and they're wrong about the other, that it's not a real job. Whatever you do for work is your job, and there are some great jobs out there. There are some stupid jobs out there. There are some really difficult, unforgiving jobs out there. They're all jobs. If you're working and you're getting paid for it, it's a job. So yeah, there is no one proper way to become a martial arts instructor. I suppose in some countries there might be some sort of government certification body that takes care of that sort of thing. I don't know. I have heard stories about that, but in most places there's not. And thank goodness. Because who wants the government telling you what you can and cannot learn as far as martial arts is concerned? How did I become a martial arts instructor? Well, I spent a very long time practicing taekwondo and karate and these other traditional martial arts. And at one point, I got a job offer teaching taekwondo to children. And that was my first professional work experience teaching martial arts, teaching kids taekwondo classes. And I quickly learned I don't actually enjoy teaching children. I want to teach fighters how to fight. And so I made that a goal. You've done something really important, which is express your desire out loud. Put it out there in public and tell people about it. You told me about it. You told the world about it. And here on my channel, I'm telling everybody about it. So you put it out there. That's a big step. Which reminds me, our friend Red Chucks, or the artist formerly known as Red Chucks, he changed the name of his channel, something about strength and self-defense, unrelenting strength and self-defense, something like that. Yeah, our friend, I'm just going to call him Red Chucks. Our friend Red Chucks, he made this video recently, which was really interesting, where he basically put out his mission statement. He said, "I'm changing the name of the channel because I've got some goals. Here are my goals. Here's what I want to do. I want to grow this channel. I want to accomplish this and this and this with my martial arts and my training and my coaching." And I thought that was really cool. He put it out there. He vocalized it. He verbalized it. And he told people about what he wanted to accomplish. Something magical happens when we do that. We start to hold ourselves accountable for what we have spoken. Our honor is our power. Where does our honor come from? It comes from doing what you say and saying what you do. So that's the first big step, my friend. You've spoken it. Now you got to live it. You've talked the talk. Now you got to walk the walk. And if it rhymes, it must be true, as the old saying goes. How much do you know about martial arts? Never stop learning. You're a young guy, 18, I think you said. I mean, there are some 18-year-old prodigies out there, but you probably still have quite a bit to learn. You said all you want to do is train. Good. Keep training. Never stop training. Never stop learning. At the same time, I'm going to tell you more about my experience here. When I started teaching martial arts, that was not my full-time job. I was working 3 or 4 other jobs at the same time to make ends meet. Especially when you start out, generally speaking, martial arts is not going to pay the bills. You can work up to that. Working up to that is going to be a full-time job in and of its own. Turning your passion into a profitable career. And by profitable, I don't necessarily mean something that's going to make you rich. I mean something that's going to pay the bills and take care of you and your family. That takes work. That takes effort. Is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. Because what's the alternative? The alternative, I'll tell you what, is working a job you hate and loathing every minute of it. And thinking, I can't wait for work to be over. I can't wait for this significant portion of my life to be over. I cannot wait for this 8 to 12 hour stretch, which is bringing me closer to the grave, to be over. What kind of life is that, man? Live the life that you want, but you gotta work for it. You cannot simply speak it into existence. That's the first step, which you've taken. Congratulations. But take all of the subsequent steps. Keep talking about it. Talk to other people about it. Because you'll find other people who are interested in that thing and interested in supporting you and building that up, possibly training with you, possibly even training under you. You'll find a lot of naysayers. Man, I remember the first time I told somebody, the first time I spoke that out loud, that I wanted to be a martial arts instructor. I had this girlfriend in college, and she said, essentially, what do you want to do with your life? Essentially, she was asking, how do you plan to pay the bills if and when we get married? I didn't marry her. And I said, I want to be a martial arts instructor. And the look on her face, oh, man, she might as well have just stepped in a pile of poop at that moment. And she started giving me this sanctimonious sermon about how impractical that was, about what a bunch of nonsense it was. And I remember feeling so deflated, like, oh, this girl I liked, this girl I think I love, doesn't love what I love. I'm not saying that your girlfriend or your wife or your spouse or your significant other or whoever needs to be on the exact same page as you as far as martial arts is concerned. I'm glad that my wife, right now, I'm glad that she has other interests than me. Makes life much more interesting, much more diverse. It brings so many more interesting dynamics to my own life. But at the same time, it is very important to be on the same level as the people around us about some things. Not everything, but some things. Don't surround yourself with yes men. People telling you, oh yeah, that's such a good idea. Everything you say is perfect and wonderful. It's important to have the equivalent of the haters in the YouTube comment section who tell you you suck in life, who tell you you won't achieve that goal in life. It's important to have that adversity. It is important to have people challenge you and get you to think, well, maybe this is not the best idea, because maybe it is not the best idea for you. Maybe. I do not know. And maybe it is. Maybe you will be the greatest martial arts instructor ever. Maybe you will inspire a whole generation. Maybe you will change the world. Maybe you'll train world champions. I don't know. Maybe it will make a significant difference for you and you alone. That's your decision to make, my friend. So after taking that initial step, what do you do next? Everything it takes. Sometimes that's a great sacrifice. I hear so often people say, well, I don't have this and that, and I don't have access to this gym, or I don't have access to that equipment, or I don't have the money for whatever. The first gym I opened, man, I didn't have money to make heavy bags, so what did I do? I learned how to sew. And I went to this discount market, and I got this discounted vinyl fabric, and I sewed my own heavy bags, and I searched and I went all over the place looking for these, looking for scraps at fabric factories, clothing factories. They would often dump what am I trying to say? Bags of scrap out the back. And I would contact them, say, hey, can I pick this up and use it to use for the filling for the heavy bags? That's what you stuff them with. I did my research. Research is worth a whole lot of money. I didn't have a mat. So I went all over, talked to a lot of people about this sort of thing, searched all over Craigslist, and I found this retired judo instructor. And he was selling an old high school wrestling mat that he had in storage. And it was affordable. I had to work for it, man. Had to help him clear a whole bunch of stuff out of his I don't know what it was, like a shed or something. But more valuable than selling me this discounted old wrestling mat for my gym, my first gym I ever set up. He taught me some really cool stuff about how to set up a sprung platform using old tires. And so what did I do? I went and I collected a bunch of old tires from all of these auto dealerships and car repair places. I can't even think of what they're called in English now. But in the United States, a lot of people just throw out scrap tires. In China, they don't. You have to pay for them. They recycle every little thing in China, man. But in America, if you live in the United States, you can get free tires. So I set up this platform of tires with wood on top of that. Just very thin plywood. And then over that, the wrestling mats, we had a sprung platform. So you could do full-on slams and throws and really cool stuff and land on your head on that mat without taking significant damage. It was awesome, and at the same time super stable to stand up and kickbox and scrap on. It was great. One of the best combat sports flooring systems ever, and it was almost free because I did my research and I talked to the right people. So get out there and talk to all the martial arts instructors you can. Ask them about their experience. You've asked me, I'm telling you a little bit about mine. Man, I didn't have pads or anything. Guess what? I made my own. I didn't have a lot of money. I was working 4 jobs at the time. So if I didn't have something and I couldn't make it, I found a way around. And I ended up training fighters to win fights professionally in that gym, my first makeshift gym. Good times, man. Good times. Expect to put in the work, man. Expect to put in a lot of work for your passion. If you're passionate about it, you won't work a day in your life, but you got to put in the work. Sounds contradictory, but it's absolutely true. Take that second step, man. Good luck to you. Thanks for watching. Get out there and train.